Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for City of Greensboro news and information. The Greensboro Department of Transportation has installed solar-powered electrical vehicle charging stations at 2 downtown city-owned parking lots. The charging stations, manufactured by Envision Solar, are located in the City-County parking lot at 201 South Eugene Street and the city metered lot at the corner of East Washington and South Davie Streets. The charging stations were purchased with a Clean Fuel Advanced Technology grant from NC State University's Clean Energy Technology Center in the amount of $122,000. The project is also supported with federal congestion mitigation air quality funds provided by the North Carolina Department of Transportation with the purpose of reducing transportation-related emissions in eligible North Carolina counties. According to the manufacturer, the charging stations are independent of the electrical grid and no construction is necessary to install them. They are capable of storing enough solar energy to charge up to 225 miles of electric vehicle driving per day. These are the first solar-powered electric vehicle charging stations offered by GTA. The city also has electric vehicle charging stations at the Green Street parking deck and the Elm Green parking lot. Say Yes Guilford is pleased to offer free live tutoring this fall to Guilford County school students in kindergarten through 8th grade. Students who did not register early can be added to a wait list. Say Yes Guilford is also seeking volunteer tutors. Registration links for both options are available on the website and the Say Yes Guilford Facebook and Instagram pages. Federal work-study students at GTCC, North Carolina A&T, UNCG, and Greensboro College will join community volunteers to work with students up to 2 hours per week through the fall semester. Tutors will be available to help students improve their skills in math, reading, science, social studies, and assist with homework. Sessions will take place one-on-one via Google Meet. Say Yes Chief Impact Officer Amanda Roseman said Say Yes Guilford established these partnerships with our local universities in the 2019-20 school year, and they were eager to expand their work to address disparities that existed before COVID-19. Say Yes Guilford recognizes the pandemic led to widespread learning loss and recognizes a collaborative community effort will be critical to addressing it. The clock is winding down as the U.S. Census will end field data collection by the end of this month. That is 4 weeks earlier than originally planned. Self-response options will also close in a couple of weeks to allow data processing to begin. Under this plan, the Census Bureau intends to meet a similar level of household responses as collected in prior census years, including outreach to hard-to-count communities. To date, more than 90 million homes, which accounts for nearly 63% of all households in the nation, have responded to the 2020 census. Building on its successful and innovative internet response option, the Census Bureau staff, including temporary workers who are going door to door, will work diligently to achieve an accurate count. The Census Bureau relies on the support of hundreds of thousands of community-based business, state, local, and tribal partners contributing to these efforts across the country. The 2020 census impacts every American. If you know someone who has not yet responded, please encourage them to complete the census today, either online, over the phone, or by mail. Be sure to check out the interactive map on the city's website to track neighborhood response to the U.S. Census. The interactive map is updated daily with response rates from the Federal Census Bureau. In an effort to help each of us improve our quality of life, the city developed a partnership with Cone Health to share a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Let's take a moment to check out today's News for Your Health.
Probably 1 in 3 Americans, or 70 million people, has hypertension, and up to 50% of those patients are either not treated or undertreated. 1 in 5 may not even know they have the diagnosis. I'm Dr. Jay Cochrane. I'm a cardiologist, I'm the chief of the Cone Health Cardiovascular Service Line and Cone Health Medical Group Heart Care. Hypertension really is known as the silent killer, and it's because it doesn't cause a lot of symptoms. You really have to get a blood pressure check. The nice thing about that is getting a blood pressure check and getting screened for hypertension is probably one of the easiest things we do. I mean, you can get a blood pressure checked at any primary care office, at any appointment with just about any provider, at the community health fair. So what is a normal blood pressure? Well, typically we treat people for hypertension when the blood pressure is 140/90. Although it's a little bit different what we consider normal based on your age and based on whether you have other conditions such as diabetes. We would begin to treat blood pressure at that level, 140/90 typically. What is normal might be more like 120/80. And in between is what we call prehypertension, where we begin to pay attention to the risk factors. Patients don't know that they have hypertension because, one, they may not see a doctor, or two, they may have been told they had high blood pressure at some point in time, but they really didn't pay much attention to it. We see those patients later on when they present with some of the problems that occur with untreated hypertension. We'd like to get to them long before that point. The problems they present with might be heart failure, kidney failure, or even strokes. And all of that is potentially treatable, preventable if they get diagnosis and treatment early. So the question is, how can we prevent or treat hypertension? At times, your physician may diagnose you with hypertension, and you may need medical management from the beginning. But in all situations, your provider should also be suggesting therapeutic lifestyle changes, or what I like to call TLC. I think the bottom line is that we need to reduce our salt intake, we need to reduce our sugar intake, we should be going for more complex carbohydrates, and for trying to avoid the foods that turn quickly into sugars. And I often tell people that's the white breads and the white rices and the white potatoes. And what's really, really important about weight loss and hypertension is that it doesn't take a lot, that we can see reduction in blood pressure from 5 to 10 pounds. And sometimes the reward for losing weight is you actually get to come down or even off of your medications. We should limit our alcohol intake. There's great discussion about the potential merits of something like red wine. The bottom line is that too much daily alcohol consumption is unhealthy for a number of reasons, and one of those is it can lead to difficult to control hypertension. It is a problem. It is a difficult addiction for a lot of people, and it is something that people should concentrate on and try to find help. Talk with your doctor about the best methods, the best resources for stopping smoking. Another therapeutic lifestyle change that's important and that's recommended for blood pressure control is to increase your activity level. And that's critical for so many different health problems. We don't exercise enough as a country. It's estimated that only about or less than 25% of adults get the recommended amount of physical exercise on a weekly basis. We should get about 150 minutes a week of a moderate level of exercise. And a moderate level of exercise is something that makes you a little flushed or a little short of breath, but not something that is so physically exerting that A, you're not enjoying it, or B, you can't do it the next day. For instance, I tell patients if you're walking with somebody, you should be walking at a brisk enough pace that you wouldn't have enough breath to sing, but you would be able to carry on a conversation. This is Dr. Jake Hochrein. Thank you for letting me join you today. I hope this information was helpful. Cone Health is committed to your wellness. For more information, please go to conehealth.com/heart.
Meeting the creative needs of marginalized communities is the purpose of a new grant program offered by the city. We'll have that story and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Creative Greensboro Office of Arts and Culture will award $60,000 through a new Catalyzing Creativity grant program. Applicants may request up to 50% of project expenses equivalent to up to $10,000. The funds will provide financial support to nonprofits or individuals to engage historically marginalized communities through creative programs. Founded in 2019, Creative Greensboro provides support for, ensures access to, and drives awareness of Greensboro's creative community. The Catalyzing Creativity Grants program aligns with one of the strategies of the city's Master Arts Plan. Greensboro Chief Creative Economy Officer Ryan Deal says this opportunity is designed to support organizations and individual creative professionals who regularly engage with communities of color, low-income neighborhoods, and/or people with disabilities. Applicants must be Guilford County based with a creative program or project that will happen in Greensboro. Program categories include natural sciences, history, architecture, technology, visual arts, performing arts, and literature. Organizations awarded cash or in-kind support from the City of Greensboro valued at $5,000 or more within the last 12 months are not eligible to apply. The deadline to apply for a Catalyzing Creativity grant is Friday, October 30th. Applications are available on the Creative Greensboro website. The Greensboro Public Library welcomes suggestions from residents for the One City, One Book community read happening in the fall of 2021. Every other year, the library, along with a long list of community partners, leads a citywide reading of a selected book. Several dynamic activities are hosted as a way to engage the entire community around the themes of the book. Suggested titles should include themes that can lead to meaningful discussions about issues considered relevant to the community at large. The book should also be adaptable as a theatrical, musical, or other performing art. The ideal book should be suitable for library programming for all ages. Last year, the community selected Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. This resulted in more than 200 library community partner and book club programs focused on the themes of racism and immigration. More than 6,000 people participated in One City, One Book in 2019. The suggestions for the 2021 One City, One Book title must be submitted by September 30th. Send emails to Beth Sheffield, the library's adult programming coordinator. The Greensboro Parks and Recreation Department and the Greensboro Elks Lodge are offering free adaptive golf clinics at Gillespie Golf Course. Sessions take place from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Saturday, September 26th, and again on Saturday, October 17th. The clinic is free, but registration is required. Players can register online. The clinics are designed to teach adaptive techniques designed for individuals with physical disabilities. Golf professionals will offer instruction on adaptive techniques to first-time players or those looking to get back into the game. Golf offers exercise and a great way to socialize. No previous experience is needed to participate. Gillespie Golf Course is located at 306 East Florida Street. For more information, call Gillespie Golf Course at 336-373-5852 or call the city's Adaptive and Inclusive Recreation Office at 336-373-2626. Guilford County students are making the most of returning to the classroom in this new norm. Needless to say, parents and students need all the support they can get. Coming up after the break, we'll check in with Say Yes Guilford and how the agency is putting students first. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Back to school looks a lot different this year. Throughout Greensboro, organizations are stepping up to support students, families, and schools. Joining me now to explain how Say Yes Guilford is lifting up students during these trying times is Wendy Poteet. She is the CEO of Say Yes Guilford. Hello, Wendy. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Carla. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining me. Tell me, what did Say Yes Guilford do this summer to prepare for back to school?
So I think the first thing we did was a lot of worrying, trying to figure out exactly what would back to school look like.
Yes.
But in our time, we kind of hunkered down when we went to working from home, and we did a lot of brainstorming, a lot of planning, and a lot of questioning ourselves if we were going to be able to implement supports in the way that we wanted to virtually and still be impactful to students. So we did a lot of that work, and we had a lot of great ideas that came out of those sessions.
Well, I will say COVID-19 has sparked creativity in a lot of different ways, forcing people to not only change the way you work and show up to work, but how do you really deliver? And I mentioned earlier in the show the tutoring program. Can you tell me how is that structured in terms of who can register, can you still register, and what about volunteer tutors?
Absolutely. So the tutoring program was one of those things that came out of that brainstorming that we all did. We tried to figure out how could we be impactful and help fill some gaps that we knew were going to be there for students. And that program took off like gangbusters. So we have over 300 students registered right now, and we have over 100 volunteers that have signed up to help students. And that's from just community volunteers that are really good in math or our federal work study students. And we also partnered with the Guilford County School System to become a service learning site. So we actually have a number of high school students that are helping to tutor some of their counterparts across the school district.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Now, if you got in late, there was a registration period so that they could start at the exact time that you wanted tutoring to begin. Is it possible for students to register?
So you still have a little bit of time. So it's still possible to register up until September the 15th. And then we want to make sure we have enough tutors. So if you're still interested in helping to tutor, that registration is also open up until September the 15th.
Okay, well, tutoring is probably one of those resources that people were scrambling and did not have that necessarily at their fingertips when schools shut down during the first wave of COVID-19. And I'm curious, that's kind of for younger students. What do you offer to older students?
So for our tutoring program, for the virtual tutoring, it's kindergarten through 8th, and we do 3 different components. So we have the HELPS literacy piece that focuses on fluency and impacts comprehension. Then we have general tutoring, where there's one-to-one tutoring with some of the volunteers that I mentioned earlier. And then for middle school, we do it in blocks. So the middle school students can log on for 2 hours per week, and they get help around theories and strategies and different things, mostly pertaining to math, because that's what all of our middle school students needed. For our high school students, we continue to do what we've done over the last few years. We're offering free ACT and ACT prep classes for students to get ready for those standardized tests, but we're also doing a number of webinars, a kickoff to college event, so a lot of different things to focus on getting ready and getting our students in GCS prepared to go on to college, but also past college. So our scholars that are enrolled in college right now, we do a number of webinars, a number of different things for those students. And then the scholarship department also offers one-on-one counseling. So you can get a consultation about your FAFSA, find out about the college registration deadlines and how to fill those applications out. So all of those things are really great work that that department is doing. And on top of all of that, they have a newsletter that's coming out in September for all of our students to just talk about those deadlines and different strategies and opportunities that we offer to our older students.
Well, it's certainly a one-stop shop, and you have so many layers of support that you're offering, and I'm sure some of this is news to parents. Say Yes has not been around a long time, but you've been around, and it just seems like you are rolling with the punches. Now, you did have a record scholarship distribution last year. How are the projections looking for this year?
So our scholarship registration for last year, we were up about 10 to 15%, I think, in our registration for Guilford County's graduating seniors this past year. So we know that we're going to meet what we met this year, and probably a little bit more as we start to think about some of the impacts that COVID would have on household income as well. Our registration for our seniors opens up on October 1st, so we're getting ready to start that process here in just a month or so.
That'll be right around the corner, and you'll be extremely busy because we don't want folks to miss out on these scholarship opportunities. And what would you say is on the horizon for Say Yes Guilford, and how can the community support this initiative?
So I think two things for us. So the first thing is going to be communications. You're going to start seeing Say Yes Guilford all over billboards and buses around the community. We're going to continue to tell the story of Say Yes Guilford, but also our scholars. And then one of the most exciting things for me is we're about to hire our new Director of Donor Impact that we'll introduce to the community in the next month. And we're going to kick off some major fundraising efforts to get us to the finish line of where we need to be for our endowment dollars. So the way the community can be involved is we need everybody to open up their purse strings and to give. We want this to truly be a countywide initiative where everybody is playing a role in making sure that we are able to offer these supports and scholarships to students.
Wonderful. Well, Wendy, thank you so much for stopping by and taking time out to give us an update on all the great things going on with Say Yes Guilford. Do come back and keep us posted on your new initiatives and just let us know how things are going with scholarships.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you. Stay tuned for some useful information about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. Due to COVID-19, the City Council is meeting virtually. The Greensboro City Council meetings are broadcast right here on GTN. The meetings are also streamed live on the city's website and on Roku. City Council meetings usually take place on Level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building, located at 300 West Washington Street. To review the council meeting schedule and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. Guilford Works is featured in a Spotlight on Local Workforce Innovations report published by the Governor's NC Works Commission. The report highlights the Coursera initiative launched in June 2020, which provides unemployed and furloughed job seekers or those with reduced hours with job-relevant online learning at no cost. Guilford Works is the first local agency to partner with Coursera in North Carolina. Coursera established the Workforce Recovery Initiative in early 2020 to help governments provide unemployed workers with free access to online courses. The goal is to help displaced workers develop the knowledge and skills needed to get hired. Free online learning courses are still available to Guilford County residents who are unemployed or working reduced hours. The program offers free access to more than 3,000 college and university courses. Interested participants can register at Guilford Works through September 30th. Free access to the coursework is available through December 31st, 2020. The City of Greensboro's Office of Workforce Development is commonly referred to as Guilford Works and is the administrative and service arm of the NC Works Career Centers located in Greensboro and High Point. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight, but first we have an important message regarding COVID-19.
Remember the 3 W's. Wear a cloth face mask covering, wait 6 feet from others, and wash your hands often. By working together, we can adjust to this new normal and continue to save lives.
Welcome back. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. The Code Compliance Division is reinstating the assessment and accrual of civil penalties and reinspection fees effective immediately. This is associated with active residential and non-residential code cases. These charges had been suspended at the beginning of April as a way to prevent additional hardships caused by COVID-19. City code compliance inspectors have continued to conduct required inspections to make sure conditions of structures are safe, all while maintaining 6 feet of social distancing. Property owners and contractors also have continued to make repairs and perform maintenance on structures since the state declared these as essential functions. For more information about the penalties and fees, the Neighborhood Development Department can be reached at 336-373-2111. Straight ahead on the other side of the break is this week's Way to Go GSO shout out. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO shout out. This week's shout out goes to the Summit Rotary Club. The group has partnered with the Greensboro Parks and Recreation Department to accept nominations for its Student Improvement Awards. One Guilford County middle or high school student will be honored monthly for overcoming personal obstacles and making academic progress. Nominations are due by 5 p.m. on the last day of each month from now through April 2021. Applications are available online. Winners receive a plaque, a $100 gift card, and eligibility for the Student of the Year Award. Adults who nominate the winning student will receive a $50 gift card. For more information, call 336-373-7617 or send an email to the Student Improvement Awards Committee. Please remember, as more places continue to open, wear your face covering, wait 6 feet apart, and wash your hands often. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings. Be sure to download our weekly podcast, Talk City Greensboro, and now GTN is streaming on Roku. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.